last TG as well, where 30 to 50% of you are coming from the TG who are mix of seniors and juniors. Obviously, people who are trying to build personal brands will have higher engagement rate than anyone else, right? Because you're creating content, you're trying to build a brand. So you will have the highest form of engagement. You will have the most wider TG possible, right? So 30 to 50% from your TG and remaining are active users who potentially will engage with your content. Very straightforward, very simple, not very different from this. But here the advantage is that you have a mix of juniors and seniors, which will basically enable you for having more engagers on your content. Okay, so that is a mix for personal brand folks. And finally, for job seekers, again, first 5,000 should be add your TG as much as you can. The reason why I say as much as you can is because how will you add 5,000 HRs, right? It's going to be very, very difficult. You might not find 5,000 HRs based on your dream companies, right? And also how many of them would be your potential seniors and potential juniors. So here, getting to that 5,000 number is going to take a longest amount of time because it's hardest to find people who could potentially get you the role. But this could be the most rewarding as well, right? Because these audiences are people who can get you an interview offer if they are connected with you. Guys, I cannot stress enough how powerful this could be for you if you're a job seeker. All right, so add your TG as much as you can. I'm not saying 5,000 for sure. I'm saying as much as you can. Okay, and then here I recommend not to enable follow button because here you're looking for a job. Be open to it. Check out also, right? In the other cases as well, when you get an invitation, if you have the patience, go through them, and if you think somebody's falling into your TG, you can always accept them. There's nothing wrong with it, right? So you can do the same thing here. Be a little picky about who you're adding up, but when you're adding somebody, make sure you check, but don't have a follow option enabled here. I have also tested with follow option enabled here. It didn't work so well. That's why I suggest right now not to enable follow only button, have connection button, so that when potential people are reaching you out, they connect with you right away. All right, rather than being confused. Because a few HRs might come to your profile and they'll be like, oh, this guy doesn't have a connect button. How do I reach out to him? A lot of people don't know that they can click on those three dots and click on connect any which ways, right? So there could be problems. That's why I say this. And also, like again, in this case, though I say 30 to 50% from your TG, it's going to be really, really hard, right? So I would say, let's say you're a software developer and your TG is senior software developers and other software developers. I would recommend you guys to add a lot of other software developers, even if they don't fall into your dream company. All right, because having that audience, carving that audience which works for you is very, very important. So in that case, I would call the 30 to 50% to be the wider scope, like other software developers working in all the other companies that you think are good companies or you think are the good experience level. And then on top of that, again, add other users who are active and share similar job profiles, right? Similar job profiles in this case is financial advisor for a financial advisor, add other finance people who could learn from you, or maybe also people who might be able to hire you, right? So you get the point, guys. If, like I told you, this mix won't make sense for you people if you haven't understood your target audience. So if you have not done it, again, I'm telling you, pause, check out your target audience and then come back because it's going to be super irrelevant if not, right? So make sure you do that. And finally, there is no hard and fast rule here, okay? There is no such rule that you have to do this, you have to do that. ऐसे कुछ rule नहीं है, alright? There is no such rule. You need to keep experimenting. I told you what are the things that work. Now you feel free to experiment and see what is working for you, alright? So when I say I have add 5,000 people, you can go and add 10,000 people as part of your TG as well. While you might say, Vaibhav, you know what? I only am able to find 2,500 people who are exactly for my TG. Can I go broader from the rest? You can. It's up to you. I told you what works the best according to me. Right? That doesn't mean that it'll work. That will exactly work for you. This is not a dictionary, guys. This is basically how I put it. This is social networking, right? It is going to work differently for everybody. But based on what I said, these are tried and tested for multiple people. So chances of this working out for you as well is extremely high. All right. With that being said, now you might ask, Vaibhav, how to find active people on LinkedIn? You kept saying you active people. How the F do I find active people on LinkedIn? How will I know that they're active or not? So it's actually pretty straightforward if you think about it. If you visit anybody's profile, right, you will see something called as the activity section. You can see Kunal replied to the comment. Kunal replied. So what this basically means is Kunal Shah is actually active on LinkedIn. You can simply open anybody's profile on LinkedIn and you can check the activity section and you will be able to find if the person is active on LinkedIn or not. Guys, the other thing that I totally missed out to say is when you enable follow only button, right, and when you create content, LinkedIn will automatically start showing this button when you share content. So on the feed, people will be able to see this button. By simply clicking on this, they will start following you, right? As a result, you increase the number of followers as well in this way. So that is one more advantage of having the follow button, which I totally missed talking about, right? All right, so what was I talking about right now? Okay, activity. Let's say I open Sam's profile. Okay, so you can see that here's the activity. I can click on see all. And I can also go to all activity. You can see he's been very, very engaging. So this is 1 day back, 1 week back. So he's active on LinkedIn, right? He's been liking and commenting. So this guy, I would consider him as an active person. This is how you can find. FYI, user, if they want to hide their activity section, they can hide it too. But 99% of them don't do it, okay? Because they don't even care. They don't even know that it exists. So they don't do it, all right? So you can be rest assured that if you are not seeing any activity of a person, that basically means that guy doesn't like, comment or engage with anybody, or there's a very good chance that he's not even active on LinkedIn, that he doesn't log in on LinkedIn every day either. So having those kind of people is useless, guys, because even if they fall into your TG, right? If those people are not active on LinkedIn, what is the whole point of having them at all, right? Does that make sense? There's no point of having people added to your network if they're not active. If you have a phone number of a person and the phone is always switched off, what would you do with the phone number, right? The same story here as well. So adding people who are active on LinkedIn is extremely important that way. That's right, okay? With that being said, let's jump to the final section of today and probably the most important one as well. That is connect with your target audience. Now, what is this? There are 3 ways that you can connect with target audience. The first one, probably you know this already, that is the LinkedIn search, right? The next one that I want to talk about with you people is the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Yes, it's a paid tool, but it's an extremely powerful tool. I want to show you the power of that. And finally, OPN, Other People Network. I'm going to talk about this as well and it will blow your mind. So 3 ways I'm going to talk about today. So wait and try to understand what I'm saying in each one of these steps. Okay. So first, before I go there, let's learn how to connect the right way, because connection is not finding somebody and just sending them an invite, right? That is not connecting. Connecting has a style to it. There's a process that you need to follow for them to accept your invitation. So the problem with connections is a lot of people will send a lot of connections. Let me open my this, right? You see the number of connections that I have here. Look at this, guys. I just added Gundharva and he already accepted my invite. That's the power when somebody comes and visits your profile and then you accept them and you send a request. So they will accept any which ways, right? Guys, so you see these, I have 19,875 pending requests. Okay. Now I'm scrolling down. Look at this. None of them, you see everything of all of them have the same format. Something is missing, and there is one which has something called as a custom message. And it says, this is Digvijay, digital marketer, I'm currently looking for a job change or whatever, right? He has a custom message that stands out right there. I have so many invites, and there's again one more custom message. But here, look at this. I would like to add you to my professional network on LinkedIn. Now, this is a very, very bad customer. You know what am I getting to? You already are getting an idea. Please add a custom note while sending an invite. It increases the chance of someone accepting your invite. Okay, because you can see that most of the people don't send an invite. I'm showing you the live example. There are very, very few people who send an invite with a custom note. Again, here Gauri has sent me a nice little invite. Right? She's telling why she wants to get in touch with me. But there is a right way of sending an invite. There's a wrong way of sending an invite as well. This, my friend, is a wrong way of sending an invite. Okay, this is a wrong way of sending an invite because here the person is like, I would like to add you to my professional network. That is no. That is a huge no. All right. While in this case, Gauri has added a nice little note, which is very, very helpful, right? If you think about it. So I can get to know why she's sending me. She's talking about incorporating memes in marketing today, which is today's post, which I like it. And I'm like, okay, Gauri is a good connect to have, and I'm going to accept the connection. So this is what happens in reality as well. So if you want your connection invites to go up, you need to add a custom note to it. I'm going to talk more about custom notes on module 5, but you get the idea. You can start experimenting with a few custom notes right now. On module 5, I'm going to give you some templates as well. All right. With that being said, the next thing that I want to talk about is don't send more than 100 invites per day. Now, don't get super aggressive and say that, oh, you know what, I'm going to send hundreds of invites per day, build a huge network and become super popular. You know what's going to happen? LinkedIn's going to put you in LinkedIn jail. What is LinkedIn jail? The moment you overdo things, LinkedIn will stop allowing you to add connections. All right, that is very, very, very important, because of which what you have to do in this case is start adding 20 to 30 invitations per day and slowly increase it to 100 in a couple of weeks. Start with 10, tomorrow 20, next day 25, 30, 35, 40. Slowly in a week or two get to 100 and then stay at 100. 95, 100, 105 is okay per day. Don't cross that and stay consistent. Okay. Now guys, if you still have this question saying, Vaibhav, how can I send a custom invite? I'm expecting that it's a very basic thing, but let me quickly show you how. Okay, let's say I'm looking for a marketing manager. Okay. And let's say I want to connect with Namrata Chaudhary. Okay. So I click on the connect button and then there's something called as add a note. I can click on this and then add a note here. Okay. So how can you add notes? Do some research about the user. Please do some research about the user. What is that person? What is the person doing? She's a marketing manager. Okay, that is great. And now what has she done? Read a little bit about this, right? What the kind of things that she does. She does KOL engagement, and then she does market research, lifecycle management. Awesome. And then click on see more. Go through her post to understand if she has shared about anything. Look at this. She has shared about giving her an opportunity on thoughts on brand management. So she went and spoke somewhere. Talk about this saying, hey Amrita, I found you on LinkedIn. I just saw your post that you spoke at this really interesting stuff. I'm a marketer as well. I'm sure that we could learn something from each other. Would love to connect, right? We can use multiple templates like that. So that's how you do research and reach out to people. All right. So that is very, very important, guys. Make sure you have a custom note enabled. The moment you add a custom note, you will get an idea. You'll see that how people will start accepting your invites more often than not. All right. So that is very important. Awesome. With that being said, let's go to the first way of finding target audience on LinkedIn search. Now, this is the first way, like I said, this is LinkedIn search. You guys already know about it. But let's say I'm looking for founders in San Francisco working for internet startups. What are internet startups? Internet startups are those companies which are like Swiggy, Uber, Zomato, Postmates, and all that. App-based companies are called internet startups. Okay. So simply, I'll click on people, and then I will say second level connections, apply, right? And then I'm gonna say founder here. Okay. Once I do that, I'll change the location to let's say San Francisco. Apply. There you go. I found 16,000 people who are in San Francisco who are founders, okay, or are co-founders. Now when I click on all filters, you have an array of options. You can select which companies do you want people from. Let's say you're looking for marketers. Let's say you're looking for software engineers. You can select the companies as well, past companies as well, industries, language, schools, services that I told about, and all the other aspects. So here in the industries, you can search for your industry. Not every industry is there, so you have to pick and choose. But here I'm going to select internet because it's clearly visible and I use it very often. If not, I could have just found it by searching. Once that is done, I click on apply. Now you can see from 1600 people, I've come down to only 1700 founders who are running internet companies in San Francisco. Now this is how you drill down to your audience. In fact, let's say you want founders who are very, very smart. So you want people who are from Stanford or Wharton only, and you don't want it from anybody else. I don't know how many people will find like that. There you go. 214 founders who are people in San Francisco running internet companies and are from Stanford or Harvard. How cool is this? This is so freaking powerful, guys. And simply, you can open those profiles, click on the connect button, add a nice little note, and send on the done button. All right. So it's as simple as that. All right, so that's how you can find people on the LinkedIn search tool. Now, the next thing that I wanted to show you people is Sales Navigator. How you can find people on Sales Navigator. All right, because Sales Navigator is very, very powerful, guys. Because Sales Navigator gives you more options to find people. All right, for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly switch to one of my clients' profile because FYI, LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a paid option. Okay, it's a paid tool. It costs about 5,000 rupees if I'm not wrong. There you go, $780, right? It's about 5,000 or 6,000 rupees per month, but it's totally worth it if you're serious about your business. Okay, it's totally worth it if you're serious about your business. So if you are interested, and also it has a 30 days free trial, so you can experiment with it. There you go, 5,000 rupees, folks. That's how much it costs, Sales Navigator. And let me show you the power of this. By the way, I'm not affiliated. Even if you buy Sales Navigator, I'm not going to get even 1 rupee. All right. In fact, going forward, I'm going to show you a few hacks as well on how you can overcome a few options of Sales Navigator. With that being said, let me quickly switch into my client's account. All right, guys. So this is Sales Navigator. Obviously, this is the client's profile, and there's already has a paid version of Sales Navigator. So I thought, why not I use his profile to show you people up? Obviously, his name would be blurred right now. Now, Sales Navigator. I'll show you the power of Sales Navigator. Right. Once you get your free trial, you'll be able to see this dashboard. So you have keywords, right? Here or here, you can just search for it. So let's say I go for the same one. I will say founder. Okay. The moment I search for founder, there you go. It has got me 6 million results. Obviously, now I have to drill it down. You can see custom list, past leads, and all. Let's skip that. Now I'll go to geography, and I'm going to call it San Francisco. San Francisco Bay Area. San Francisco Bay Area right now is showing 220k results. While if you see LinkedIn free search, only showed you 16,000 if you remember, right? Now that this is done, let me play with few more. Industry, which was also there. I'm gonna say internet, right? 18,000 people. All right. Now here's the beauty. Now the beauty of Sales Navigator is, let's say you want to reach out to internet companies which are small because they just got started and they might need your help with whatever service that you sell. Okay. So there are options to select the kind size of the company as well. So let's say I want very small companies, self-employed, that is only one founder and he's running everything right now. So it's on the ground level, or 1 to 10. 1 to 10 is basically smaller companies. And look at this beauty, right? We have found people who are running companies which are sized from 1 to 10, 0 to 10, and are in San Francisco running internet-based companies. In fact, you can go broader, saying functions, and you can say that, you know what, I want people who are in marketing only. Okay, I can select that as well. So these are founders who are marketers only and are also running companies which are from size of 1 to 10. And you can look at that. We have drilled down to only 340 results, guys. And you can go deeper with view all filters, a bunch of other things as well that you can select from. I would leave that to you. All right. So let me show you more powerful thing than this. Now we have found 340 results. Here, there's a tab called as 21 people changed their job in last 90 days. This might not be relevant for everybody, but this is the most important aspect. 111 people posted on LinkedIn in last 30 days. What does it signify? If these people have posted on LinkedIn in last 30 days, that essentially means these people are active on LinkedIn. You get my point? I told you how to find people who are active on LinkedIn. So this way, I can literally reach out to 111 people who could potentially be the buyers of my product in San Francisco, who are running an internet company which is sized from 0 to 10 employees and are also marketers themselves. So when I talk about a marketing product, they will understand. The same way, let's say you're selling some financial, I don't know, some fintech product which will help them, right? So you might want to reach out to them, someone who is in finance. Now, obviously, I don't think there are any founders in finance here. Still are. You can see 112 people. So if you're a fintech product and you want to reach out to an audience so niche like this, you can still find 112 people, out of which 32 people are also active. That is the power of LinkedIn search, Sales Navigator. All right. And I'm not even showing you all the options. What I will strongly recommend you is to play with this tool. Take the free trial, play with this tool, and make sure you don't forget this magic button which shows you people who are active on LinkedIn. All right. If I cut it down, if I make it a little broader, usually when you're building a personal brand, you don't go so niche. If I go a little broader, you can see that 3K people who have posted on last 30 days for founders and running internet companies in San Francisco. How powerful is that, guys? Right? I hope you guys get the point. And that is how you can find awesome target audience based on who are active on LinkedIn using Sales Navigator. And also, if you want to drill down, you know what to do. All right. I hope that was fun. Now coming back to the presentation again, you get the point. That is the power of Sales Navigator, folks. Finally, moving on to the next one is finding your TG using OPN. What is OPN? OPN is basically other people network. Now, like I told you, you would want to add people who are one, active on LinkedIn, and two, are falling into your target audience. The easiest way to find these audiences is by finding your competition or finding people like you on LinkedIn who are already big. Now, what do I mean by that? Right? This is what I mean by that, guys. Let me open my LinkedIn right now. So imagine, obviously, right? Let's say I'm a marketer and I'm trying to build brand. I'm trying to, like be a thought leader in marketing. Okay. Let's say Gary Vaynerchuk falls into the category. I want to become the Gary Vaynerchuk, and people who are connected and people who are following Gary Vaynerchuk are also people who might follow me, right? Or who are people who should be into my right target audience. So this is what OPN is, guys. If you go to his posts, right? When you click on his post, you can see there are 941 people who have liked this content. All these 941 people have liked this content. What does it mean? That means these people are your potential audience who are falling into TG and are also active and are also people who engage with content. This is gold mine for us, right? In fact, if you go broader, if I say I only want people to comment, these people would be people who are super serious and are very, very high level of engagers and are very, very relevant to your audience. Now, let me move to someone like Guy Kawasaki, right? Who is a marketer himself. He's an evangelist at Canva. He's a very well-known marketer and a software person, right? He has worked with Steve Jobs for a matter, right? And he has millions of followers, obviously. Now, his audience is also super relevant for me, maybe, right? I can also get all these people. All I have to do is click on people who are liking and engaging with his content. Just open their profiles up in new tabs. Let's say I just open their profiles up in new tabs. And once I do that, I can start connecting with them. You get my point? All of a sudden, you're finding audiences who are relevant, active on LinkedIn, and are also engagers of content. Only 2 to 3% of people who are active on LinkedIn actually engage with your content. Most of people are just, they just view your content and leave. They don't engage. Not everybody has the habit of engagement. So these are the best kind of audience you can have, my friends. And that is what I mean by other people network. You're stealing others' audiences. I mean, ethically. You're not doing anything unethical here. Ethically, right? And you can also, when you're writing a custom note, you can say that, hey man, I also follow Gary Vaynerchuk. I see you too as well. We both are very similar people, and I thought it would be great to get to know you as well, so that we could do something together later. Whatever that is, you get my point, right? You're finding common interest right now, which is also a very good custom message. All right. That is finding TG using OPN. And now I have one more OPN hack for you people. That is LinkedIn groups. LinkedIn groups are basically dead. Okay. They're of no use. Even if you create content on LinkedIn groups, they're not going to do anywhere. All right. I'm being very, very frank. But LinkedIn group has one big advantage. The audience. People who are in these groups are people who really like what you are talking about, who really like, who are really are interested in the topic. For example, growth hacking, right? All these 2,831 people are people who are interested in growth hacking. So if I come to a profile, come to a group, click on see all. There you go. Now, you could see all these people are there who are calling themselves that they're interested in growth hacking. So you don't even have to do the research of if they're interested in growth hacking or not. I could simply open their profiles all over the world. How beautiful is this, right? Open their profiles and simply connect with them. Guys, these are gold mines, right? These are gold mines and people don't use these things. Most of the people rely on LinkedIn search to find their audiences, but these are the audiences which are already saying, they're shouting that, hey, I am interested in what you do, right? There are hundreds of groups there, guys. There are hundreds of groups. Let's say I say finance, okay? I don't know if there's any finance groups, but I click search for finance, click on more, select groups. There you go, the bunch of finance groups. Now I can simply get added to these groups and start connecting with people who are relevant to my audiences. How powerful is this? So you can find groups for almost every category and every space that you have by simply making a LinkedIn search here. Let me do that again. I just search for finance, okay? and once the search happens, click on more and select groups. That's about it. Whatever you want to type it out, find the people, look at the audiences, and if you find someone interesting, add them. Very, very relevant. You don't have to break your head here, right? So that is the next way of finding your audiences. Guys, that's basically everything that I wanted to share with you people today. We started with understanding your mix, cleaning up our profiles, and finally 4 different ways. I told you 3 ways, but I literally showed you 4 different ways on how you could find the right set of audiences for LinkedIn. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what has been your favorite. Tweet it out. Let me know what has been your favorite, but you get the point, right? So these are how you can find the right set of audiences on LinkedIn. Again, like I said, if you have gone through the video but you still don't know what your TG is, make sure you go back to the drawing board, watch the module 1, get 100% clarity on your TG. Also optimize your profile, because a lot of times when you're sending out a connection request, if your profile is not optimized, a lot of these people are going to open your profile and to check who you are. If your profile is not optimized and not updated properly, then these people are not going to accept you. All right. Every step is important. There's a sequence that exists. I call this a 5-step blueprint for a reason. All right. So please follow. All right, so the task time is here. This is the task for today. For module 3, guys, the task is obviously, again, pretty straightforward. You might have thought about it already, but here's how I want you to do it. I call the task go and connect. Now, how do you do it? Use any of the search methods to find your target audience. I told you 4 different ways. Use any of the methods to find your right target audience. Now, copy a minimum of 20 profiles into a Google Sheet, which you think are relevant. 20 profiles which are relevant, copy them onto a Google Sheet, okay? Once you do that, send them invites with a custom message on it. Again, this is very, 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 very important. Have the custom message, write a custom message for all these connections. Do some research, write a custom message about them on a Google Sheet. Keep it ready, okay? And then once you have written a custom message for all the 20 connections, now all you have to do is go to LinkedIn, connect with them, add a note with a custom message, and once you send them invites on the sheet on the right, say done, updated. Okay, so this is what I want you to do. And also you can have one more column saying approved, not approved. The moment someone approves your request, you can say that as approved. The moment if the person is not approving your request, you can say it as pending. Okay, and if someone is not adding you for more than 7 days, you can remove them and send them a request again, so that the request will go to the top. Even for the second time, if they don't add you, that basically means they're not interested, my friend. So just move on. There are enough people to connect with, right? So that's the task, guys. It's very straightforward. Use search methods, find your target audience, find 20 people, put it on a Google Sheet, write 20 custom messages for them, start sending invites using the custom note, and update the Google Sheet. Once all this thing is done, take a screenshot and share it in as an assignment. So that is the assignment for today, folks. So that is what it is. I'm very, very excited, guys. If you have any questions, check out the FAQs, like you know. All right, so that will clear a lot of questions that you might have. But on a very high level, this is what you need to do. You will, if you follow everything that I just told you, you will start seeing results immediately. You will start getting much higher connection acceptance rates. You will see your connection engagement will go up, your content engagement will go up, and everything else. On module 4, we're going to talk about content, and by then, make sure you finish this task as well. All right, so that's basically more about it for today. I'm so glad that you guys could cover up the whole module. If you've reached till here, great job. You sticked around. It has gone slightly longer than I thought it would, but who cares, right? As long as the content is good. So I hope